the speech therapist came to me and said, "Hey, mom, I've been working with Braxton for 2.5 years and he isn't making any progress. He doesn't have any words outside of his ABCs and numbers. He's not talking. All these things that I've worked with him on, I don't think he's listening or absorbing them." Hey, y'all, welcome to Life with Haya. Do you see this weather? It is sunny, it is cool. Like, who wants to be inside? Not me. I am welcoming you into my space because pretty soon I want to jump into my son Braxton's autism story. But I figured before I jump into his autism story, I wanted to explain what autism is. For those who are unfamiliar with autism and those who are familiar, this is a space for learning and understanding. So, what is autism? Autism is a different way that a person's brain is wired. It can change how they talk, how they connect with others, and how they experience the world around them. It's not good or bad, it's just a different style of being a human. That's my take on autism, but here's a textbook definition.
Autism is a developmental disorder that affects how individuals communicate and interact with others.
Autism is a spectrum, meaning every person with autism is unique. Some individuals need very little support, while other individuals need a lot of support. Some individuals with autism may have pattern recognition, deep focus, or exceptional memory, but not everyone has a super skill, and that's okay. Every person has strengths, even if it's not easily recognized, and that goes for individuals with autism and those without autism. So now I would like to dive into some of the challenges individuals with autism may experience. My son Braxton faces challenges when it comes to communication, sensory sensitivities, transition. He even deals with social interactions, so I've had to learn how to best support him. So, for example, Braxton could be running out here playing on the playground, sitting at the table with me, but if a loud plane flies over or a truck comes rumbling down the road, he is covering his ears. He is sensitive to sound. He may even run in the house and ditch me. I think it's very important for parents with a special needs child to have hope. I've had people try to squash my hope over the years. I received Braxton's autism diagnosis when he was 18 months old by a neurologist. He wasn't officially diagnosed with autism through the school district until he was 5 years old. So from ages 3 to 5, he was receiving OT, PT, and speech therapy. The speech therapist, I thought she was awesome. He started when he was 3 and she saw him for 2.5 years in pre-K. I would see this speech therapist on and off when I would pick him up from school. I would see her during the IEP meetings, which is an individual education plan, if you're not aware. Some children need extra support and help in the classroom, and not necessarily autistic individuals. It can be a child that just needs extra support. So fast forward to the end of pre-K, which was 2.5 years. He's getting ready to go to kindergarten, and the speech therapist came to me and said, "Hey, mom, I've been working with Braxton for 2.5 years and he isn't making any progress. He doesn't have any words outside of his ABCs and numbers. He's not talking. All these things that I've worked with him on, I don't think he's listening or absorbing them." She was basically sitting there and telling me, because my son had no words here at the age of 5, that there was a good chance that he would have no speech and language. Of course, I was crushed. And I kind of believed her. But at the same time, I thought, you know what? He's only 5 years old. He has so much time and opportunity to learn to speak and talk and communicate. I have a happy story for that one, but I'm going to save it for his journey. All I can tell you is that Braxton has words and he can't communicate. He can't communicate like me and you, but he has words and he can talk and he understands a whole lot more than he can say. So if you're a parent with a special needs child, have your hope. Celebrate their growth, whether big or small. Moving back here to Florida about 4 years ago, I realized that there are levels to autism. Braxton was diagnosed back in 2015. He wasn't even 2 years old. And back then, they didn't have levels. And if they did, no one told me what level he was. Individuals with autism level 1 need the least amount of support, and those with level 3 need the most support. Braxton is a level 3. But I think acceptance is more important than labels. So support looks different for each family, and that comes back around to meeting children and people where they are versus trying to fit them in a little box. So very soon, I'll be starting Braxton's full autism story from pregnancy through preschool, early childhood. He's now 11 years old, and I'm excited to just bring you up to speed to where he is now. So if you have a child with autism, maybe you have autism yourself. Maybe you just want to learn more about autism. I invite you to come along with me on this journey that I'm on to talk about my son Braxton. I just want to share him so that others can feel like they're not alone. There are so many times where I'm looking for things that Braxton's doing in other children because I feel like he's the only one who faces those difficulties or has these troubles. And it's not true. So I think this is just education and understanding that I'm sharing. So thank you for listening and being open to learning. Remember to give yourself grace. I will see you next time. Bye.